right, guys, we're going to start this program very shortly. Wednesday edition of the I Love Cville show. Scott Aaronworth, welcome to the show. A lot we're going to cover on a Wednesday. Inflation surcharges are becoming prevalent. We'll talk about the inflation surcharge and what it means to us. We will talk this question. If you had to give advice, and get that two-shot ready to rock and roll, J-Dubs. If you had to give advice to someone moving to Charlottesville, what advice would you give to that person moving to Cville?
And only one sentence.
In one sentence. Yeah. Carol Thorpe, hello and welcome to the show. If you had one piece of advice you could give to someone moving to Charlottesville in one sentence, what would that advice be? We'll have that conversation today on the Wednesday edition of the I Love Cville show. We'll talk Amazon, now including Prime, now including Grubhub and a Prime membership. Dude, Amazon's taken over the world. Grubhub and a Prime membership is now included for a year? Good Lord. We'll highlight the most absurd comment of the week. Who did it come from? Mitch McConnell?
Yeah.
The most absurd comment of the week has come from Mitch McConnell. We'll give that comment to you. And inventory deals in the month of June in Manhattan and New York City have fallen by 30% in 1 month. All those topics and more on the Wednesday edition of the I Love Cville show. Myself and Judah Wickower, whose birthday is today. Wish Judah Wickower a happy birthday in the comments section, please. Scott, Carol, and everybody else that's watching the program. Judah Wickower is enjoying a birthday today. We can rock when you're ready, J-Dubs.
How much has changed in round 3 here?
Let's rock when you're ready.
All right. Quiet on the set.
Good Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love Cville show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We're live from historic Charlottesville, Virginia, and downtown Charlottesville in the Macklin Building on a glorious day to be above the mud. A Charlottesville, Commonwealth, country, and worldwide audience at our disposal on a show today presented by Skooma Boutique Dispensary. The best dispensary in Charlottesville is Skooma Boutique Dispensary, with a location on the downtown mall and one location on the UVA corner. Olivia Branch, welcome to the program. Scott Aaronworth in Virginia Beach says, happy birthday, J-Dubs. The nickname J-Dubs resonates in the 757 and the beach area. Yes, it is Judah Wickower's birthday today. We started with cupcakes. Olivia says, happy birthday, Judah. We started with cupcakes on Real Talk with Keith Smith. I believe Judah is, 2 or 3 cupcakes deep? Is it 2?
No, just one.
Just one cupcake? It was a delicious cupcake. Happy birthday again.
Oh, very good. I mean, you can't beat cream cheese topping. It's
cream cheese topping cupcake with chocolate cake, cream cheese icing. Interesting, the diet of the I Love Cville network. On some mornings we have cupcakes before 10 a.m. On other mornings, bourbon before 10 a.m. on the I Love Cville network. Hence the life of a broadcaster in Charlottesville, which you have become. I want to give you a couple compliments. First, happy birthday. You've worked at this firm for over 10 years now. Your family, I sincerely mean that, your family. And just like family, it's not always rainbows and roses. Sometimes there's some friction and a little bit of arguing and bickering, but I'll tell you what, 10 years has flown by. I'm grateful for your effort over this last decade to the team and helping the business. I enjoy working alongside you. We make a fantastic combination into another 10 years potentially and many happy birthdays in between. Judah Wickower, today is your day, and I hope you get to enjoy it.
Thank you.
Shall we begin?
Sure.
Do you want to start Walmart and surcharges?
Yeah.
I think we should set the stage. Why don't you read the nut graph or the key points of that article, and we'll talk something that's unfortunately becoming prevalent now. Surcharges at businesses because of inflation set the stage. Judah Wickhauer.
Yeah, well, I think this doesn't look as bad for
Yet.
It doesn't look as bad for us, the consumers. So Walmart is preparing to levy new charges on some of its suppliers as it looks to offset the fast rising cost of transportation and labor. Starting August 1st, suppliers that use the retail giant's Collect program to move their products to the company's warehouses will be hit with a Collect pickup charge based on the cost of the goods. Those suppliers will also have to pay a fuel surcharge based on daily price changes. So what I like about this is that, yes, eventually the cost may trickle down to us, the consumer, but it looks like Walmart is trying to keep the cost off of our shoulders. And
Well, they're passing it to their purveyors.
yeah,
They're passing it to their vendors.
mm-hmm.
And logic, as we're both logical people,
You're going to say the vendors are going to raise the prices. And
the vendors can't just absorb the additional costs without passing it to somebody. The cost always gets passed downhill. So if Walmart is telling the vendors, see, Walmart's doing a PR battle.
yeah, no doubt.
Walmart's going, it was in the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal reported this late Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart's trying to manage the PR battle. And they say if we make the vendors pay the surcharge, it's Walmart trying to stand up for the customers. But we need this inflation surcharge because gasoline and fuel is getting out of control and it's so volatile, we don't know how much we're going to spend to get the product here.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it to you. But we're not doing it to our customers. The vendors have to pass that by raising the cost of the goods they sell to Walmart.
Possibly, yeah.
And then that's how it gets priced to the customer.
Yeah. I'm sure some of that is true. And I mean, at this point, everybody's tightening their belts. When the corporations start doing it.
That's the question. And that's why this is a topic of conversation. Kevin Yancey says, happy birthday, Judah. Carol
Thank you.
Thorpe, a very happy birthday to Judah Wickhauer.
Thank you.
Today's Judah Wickhauer's birthday. Wish him a happy birthday in the comments section, please. Judah works very hard for you, the viewer and listener, Monday through Friday, putting this show together. Just give him a little love in the comments section. Happy birthday, J-Dubs, Judah. What else do we call you? Wickhauer, Young Cower.
I don't know.
We have a lot of nicknames for you. JW. So the reason we bring this up is this the first mention you've seen of inflation surcharge?
Yeah,
it is for me.
I'd never seen that.
I've never seen it
that
before
term
yet so
used.
far. Yeah. The inflation surcharge is being used by Walmart now. Walmart is a market leader. Walmart, in a lot of ways, is the market. Walmart, Amazon, Target.
This also says Amazon added a similar inflation surcharge earlier this year.
So there you go. The top two retailers in the world, certainly in America, would we say a Walmart and Amazon are the top two retailers in the world? If I was a betting man, I would say they were. Right? Certainly
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
I would say they were in the world. The top two retailers in the world, with Walmart doing it last night, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, are now doing inflation surcharges. What generally happens is the leaders set the tone and the standard for others. It's no coincidence that Wegmans is now charging for plastic bags. So think about what Wegmans is doing. My wife sent me this text yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Wegmans is charging... Wegmans, the grocery store on 5th Street, 50 cents a plastic bag now. So what did Wegmans do? What do they do by charging? You're learning business inside and out.
Well, they basically
What do they do? 50 cents a bag. What did Wegmans do?
passed charges to everyone. And
Wegmans created a revenue stream through plastic bags.
I don't even know if I'd call it a revenue stream.
And they
I'd
also,
say-
50 cents a plastic bag?
I know. I don't mean
50
that
cents?
I don't mean that they're not making money. My point. What I mean is that they're not doing it to make money. They're doing it to offset their own costs, which are probably going up. And it's easier to charge someone 50 cents a bag than to say, "Hey, we're adding X to like everything in the store." And it also gives people an out if they bring their own bags in, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, if you bring the cloth bags, I would imagine you could bring your own plastic bags if you wanted to. But at that point, you're going to probably bring the cloth bags. You're not going to have a charge. But by charging 50 cents a bag, which is what Wegmans does, and Wegmans is doing it for the sake of the environment, which is a very legitimate reason. Plastic bags in landfills are not good for environment, right? But Wegmans, look what they did. Plastic bags will be a revenue stream. They don't have to purchase as many of them now, and they've turned it into a revenue stream, and they've spun it in a way where it's a PR coup or good for their brand because they're doing it for the environment.
Yeah.
When do you start seeing these tactics done by corporate giants on Main Street with the mom and pops? When's the inflation surcharge hit the mom and pops? Wegmans, Walmart, Amazon, inflation surcharges and the monetization of plastic bags, when does that happen to the locally owned businesses? Because they're fighting tooth and nail just to keep up.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the local business. Some of them probably have the most loyal customers, and their customers know that when the
You pay an inflation tax?
Do I pay?
Would you pay an inflation tax? Local business, and would it leave a sour taste in your mouth? You go to a business and itemized on the receipt,
We're already paying it to some extent.
a line item called inflation surcharge.
When was the last time you ordered delivery?
I don't do a ton of delivery.
I didn't either, but my friend and I, when he comes over, we've been ordering out instead of, we've been ordering out, and oftentimes I'll see like
What's it say on the line item?
three different line item additions.
And what are they?
So there's like delivery fee, then there's, aside from taxes, you've got a delivery fee, you've got, I don't remember what it's like a processing fee or something. Then you've got the tip, and
Do you tip 20% to the delivery driver?
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's a really small delivery, and then I usually tip more.
Kevin Yancey says, get
$3.
ready for the tax coming from the city and county on the plastic bags.
Well, yeah.
Would it leave, Kevin King of Waynesboro also says the Outer Banks banned plastic bags and Northern Virginia is planning to ban plastic bags. Wow. You are a local supporter. I'm a local supporter. You're a local supporter. We bleed local. The concept of one of the businesses is I Love Seville, where we showcase the best of the Charlottesville, Virginia area. If a locally owned business included on an itemized receipt inflation surcharge, and that inflation surcharge was synonymous with the inflation rate, what's CPI at? 8, 9%? And if there was
That's what they show.
If there was an 8 or 9% inflation surcharge on your receipt, itemized, called inflation surcharge, from a locally owned business that you love to support, would that leave a sour taste in your mouth?
I think having it out in the open would leave less a sour taste in my mouth than finding out that tons of businesses were just like, kind of slipping it in there.
Oh my God. The last thing you should do if you're a business is slip it in their DL and hope your customer doesn't see it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking, because we're in the branding business, we help our clients figure out these predicaments. You undoubtedly, if you're going to do an inflation surcharge, excuse me, should do it out in the open.
And I would even...
And it should be by your register on the glass door on the door.
I was just going to say, if you don't have it out, then you should tell, I would so much appreciate it if a server or someone at a retail business said, we're really struggling right now. We're having a hard time with supply chain issues. We're having a hard time with jobs, hiring the people that we need,
Surviving.
And we're we've added a 10% inflation surcharge to everything in the store to help us offset costs, and we just want you to know that we don't want to have to do this, but we have to do this to stay alive. And I would be like, you know what? I appreciate you telling me. And I would probably, unless, in most cases, I think I would continue shopping there.
Take it a step further. Viewers and listeners, I'm going to take it a step further. Restaurants now, a lot of them, and I understand why they're doing it. Restaurants now are auto-gratting 20%, auto-gratuity. A good example of this is Selvage Brewing Company. Selvage Brewing Company in Woolen Mills, the wool factory, has on its menu, we want to pay our employees a living wage, and we're going to include a 20% tip in this bill, no matter what. And it's up to you, the customer, if you want to tip additionally on top of the 20%. So is the future of an expensive area to live, Charlottesville is, very difficult for staff in food and beverage to afford to live here. Is the future of dining in the Charlottesville area for the short term, the rest of 2022, or until inflation starts to cool down, is the future of dining a 20% auto grad included into bills and an inflation surcharge line item? When you add the meals tax and all the other taxes in there, pretty soon your bill is going to be 40%. I mean, the 20% auto grad is 20%. Meals tax is what? Restaurateurs watching the program. How much is total meals tax? That's close to 10%. Is it over 10%?
I'd say 9 or 10, but I don't know.
What's the exact number restaurateurs watching the show? Anybody can put it in the feed? Anyone? So if you auto grad 20% and you got 10, 11% in meals taxes, and then you got an inflation surcharge, you're talking your bill, close to half your damn bill is taxes and surcharges, and not what you're eating and putting in your belly.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes wonder how other, a lot of other countries don't have tipping, and it would be curious to figure out how they manage to pay their employees a living wage or whatever wage they pay them without our American, like $2.30 per hour, and then whatever you can make on tips.
Well, if I was in this scenario now, currently, and I had a locally owned restaurant, I would do window service. I'd cut front of the house staff. I'd do window counter pickup, window service, counter pickup for the food, where they go and order at a register, and they pick it up at a window within the restaurant. And you eliminate front of the house staff.
You would just cut out seating altogether?
Keep seating. Front of the house staff I would eliminate. And be window service or pick up at the register, where the customer orders at the register and then they go and pick it up at the window inside the restaurant. Perfect examples of this are, say, Panera Bread. Moe's Barbecue on Ivy Road has it like that. And it allows you to limit labor, head count.
I get it. So you wouldn't have servers anymore. You just have people taking orders and giving and passing the food across the counter.
You got to do everything humanly possible to be able to survive. I mean, that's how I would run it right now. Kevin Yancey, how about we hold the fuel suppliers accountable when fuel isn't coming down anywhere as near as they rose? Yeah, that's something we've covered on this show. Kevin Yancey, it's a good comment. I feel your pain, homie.
Explain that again.
I mean, he's basically talking fuel, WTI crude is less than $100 a barrel, right? It's gone down dramatically over the last handful of days because it's a forward-looking commodity, the barrels of oil, right? Mm-hmm. It shows the demand is going to drop big time because people are going to start pitching pennies and not traveling, so gas is going to drop if the demand's not there. Which
is why gas companies have not upped production, I think.
Well, Yancey is saying it's basically below $100 a barrel. Why the hell has it not, the price per gas at the local tanks not dropped? Like they went up so quickly. I can empathize with that.
Yeah.
I can absolutely empathize with that. When you start seeing big boxes utilize terms like inflation surcharge, the expectation is copycat will happen. That's a trend that's going to happen, the term inflation surcharge. One of the terms that became incredibly popular during this housing boom was complementary seller possession, where
Yeah.
people were selling their homes and then living in their homes for free for 60 days after selling them to people.
Yeah, because you need time to find someplace else.
Complementary seller possession was a new phenomenon. Inflation surcharge. Get ready and giddy up. How about this story? Amazon adding Grubhub to Prime membership. Amazon, say what
Guys.
you want about Amazon. Amazon is not good for local business.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Stay away from Amazon.
Amazon is and I fall victim to this because of the convenience they offer. Amazon is going to destroy local business if we're not careful.
They have been. I mean, take a look at some of the big guys that have been crushed by Amazon.
And they-
Sears.
Yeah. Kmart,
Yeah, and there's I won't.
Sears Roebuck. Remember the Sears catalog? It's now called Amazon. Amazon.com. It's not a print catalog anymore. Amazon on Wednesday, which is today, struck a deal with Grubhub to add food delivery perks to its Prime membership program. As part of the agreement, Amazon has the option to acquire a 2% stake in Grubhub, the food delivery behemoth. This is the nitty gritty that I think is worth relaying to everybody. Amazon is sweetening the perks of its Prime program. 200 million plus Prime members in America. Prime membership already includes food-related benefits at Whole Foods. Prime members will now be able to forego delivery fees on some Grubhub orders and access other benefits of Grubhub's loyalty program at no extra cost. Grubhub
Caveat.
hurts the locally
emptor.
owned restaurants.
Yeah.
You
So
talk
does
to
Amazon.
So does Amazon. So listen to what's happening here. Grubhub, which hurts the locally owned restaurants. Let's explain how Grubhub hurts the locally owned restaurants, okay? This is how Grubhub, you can jump in anytime you want. This is how Grubhub hurts the locally owned restaurants. They add ridiculous surcharges to restaurant meals. They don't deliver the food in timely fashion. They don't care for the food upon delivery. They're often stacking orders to make the delivery routes more efficient. They'll stop at 2 or 3 places before delivering one meal to somebody. Grubhub does not reflect the integrity of restaurant brands and what they stand for. It's a middleman,
They're unaffiliated.
third-party food delivery service, often managed by people that don't care for either the company they're working for, Grubhub, or their food they're delivering. That's a fair description, would you say?
Yeah.
Amazon is now created a joint venture with Grubhub, and this joint venture will prioritize Grubhub even more with 200 million plus Amazon Prime members to the unfortunate collateral damage of locally owned restaurants. Take a platform, third-party delivering, and make it more ubiquitous by one of the most ubiquitous brands in America, Amazon.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. What's wrong with the take I just gave?
Nothing, and it's got to be a hard choice for local restaurateurs because when you don't have the capacity or the ability to do delivery, you could be leaving dollars. What's the phrase?
Picking up.
No. You may be losing money that you could be making on potential orders because you don't have a delivery system in place. But if your only choice is something like Grubhub and they're charging 15 to 30% delivery charges or surcharges or whatever they call it, you're taking
And your food comes cold.
You're taking a local business's already slim profit margin and possibly destroying it altogether.
Kevin Higgins watching the program. We've dubbed him the king of Greenwood. He says, if you want proof of what Amazon can do to local business, look at what CVS did to local pharmacies across the country. Well said. Very well said. Very well said. What is it? Top Notch is the only local pharmacy left? The rest are CVS's?
Top Notch.
Yeah.
What about
Meadowbrook is closed, right?
what about
The
one in the
drugstore,
mall.
Timberlakes?
Yeah, Timberlakes.
Yeah, Timberlakes is still open. Timberlakes is still open. That's a good call. What other locally owned pharmacies are there? Top Notch, Timberlakes, and there's a pharmacy right outside the lake, Lake Monticello, that's local. Outside of that, it's a CVS World.
Yeah.
Good call, Kevin Higgins. Jason Howard says this. Jason Howard, where do you live? You contribute to the program often. It's time that you get a moniker. Kevin Yancey confirms Meadowbrook is closed. Thank you, Kevin Yancey. Jason Howard, where do you live? I want to give you a moniker like Kevin Yancey's the king of Waynesboro, Kevin Greenwood's the king of Greenwood, Carol Thorpe is the queen of Jack Jewett. You contribute to this program regularly, Jason Howard, and you deserve a moniker, my friend. He says this, vendors servicing restaurants and grocery stores alike have raised minimum orders and cut delivery days to combat rising shipping costs. So you have to order more and anticipate your needs better and have space for the extra stock. It's a great comment.
Yeah.
And not only that, locally owned business is a sales cycle. So if you're having to order more, you're having to find the capital to cover the cost to order more, unless you get 30 days dating, which is paying in the rears. I would bet in this economic climate, it's not a lot of paying in the rears, especially for a business like restaurants that is in a very difficult spot.
Yeah.
Jason Howard's on Rio Road. Let's remember, Jason Howard is now the king of Rio. Jason, I'm responding to your comment, and I'm saying you are now called Jason Howard. You will forevermore be known as the king of Rio. Exclamation point, enter, publish, send. I just sent it to him. Jason Howard's the king of Rio. Eventually we're gonna have to get a document that organizes all these monikers, because right now they're in my head and they're starting to get convoluted and confusing. Okay? It's getting convoluted and confusing. Next topic on today's program. And jump in, guys, and remember, it's Judah Wickhauer's birthday today. So wish J-Dubs a happy birthday. He loves to hear this. New York City housing stock in the month of June, sales of apartments in the Big Apple, in Manhattan, fell 30% in June. 30%. Think about that. Rising rates, a lack of inventory are obviously impacting this. 30% plunge in sales contracts in Manhattan in the month of June.
Yeah.
That's astronomical.
Understandable too. It says here the median sales price for the second quarter rose to a record $1.25 million.
What does 125 in Manhattan get you? Shoebox?
That's median sales price. So whatever the median house or apartment looks like there. That's insane.
That is insane. 30% plunge in June. 30%. If you want to hear a good conversation on this topic here, listen to Real Talk with Keith Smith this morning. We had a fantastic discussion. What'd you take of the Real Talk discussion? We talked to the proliferation of Airbnbs. We talked how there's no police, and by police I mean monitor or auditor of the Airbnb market in the city of Charlottesville. So you can illegally operate an Airbnb in the city of Charlottesville right now without having oversight or someone slapping you on the wrist and telling you to stop doing illegal things.
Yeah, I mean it's happening all over the country, and my takeaway from it is that what would you call it? It's a bunch of people wanting to cash in, wanting to make a buck, and I get it, but everybody's buying up properties to use as Airbnbs, and those used to be
Homes.
rentals. Somebody could be renting that. I mean, the place that I own now.
You were renting it. You bought it from your landlord.
I
Kevin
rented for
Higgins says,
10
happy birthday, J-Dubs.
Thank you, Kevin. I rented that place for 10 or 11 years before my landlord decided to sell it. Now, imagine if he had been using it as an Airbnb for the previous 10 or 11 years. I definitely wouldn't be Airbnb-ing it for 10 years. So I'd have to look somewhere else for an apartment. Now, the more people start using these properties as Airbnbs, the more issues we're going to have with people not being able to find places to rent.
Yeah. On top of that, more students than ever before at the University of Virginia this fall.
That's crazy.
On top of that, more professors and staff than ever before at the University of Virginia this fall.
Where are they all going to go?
On top of that, the data science school that's about to open. World famous, world recognized data science school.
Yeah.
It ain't going to get better. It's going to get worse.
Yeah. I mean, unless they come up with a high-speed rail that connects to like some, I don't know, maybe UVA will build their own little town.
I've called it a gondola all over Central Virginia. A gondola over Central Virginia to help the housing affordability crisis by efficiently whisking Central Virginians around the region for employment.
I don't know if anyone's ever called a gondola efficient.
Well, how's a gondola not efficient? It's in the sky. It's in the air.
Yeah, but they don't go 40 miles per hour.
There's no traffic. You get on it, you ride it, and you get to your place. There's no traffic. A gondola throughout Central Virginia. A gondola system throughout Central Virginia would solve so many crises. Crises? Is it crises? Or
crises.
Crises. It would solve a housing affordability crisis because people can legitimately live in Buckingham or Waynesboro or like, Louisa and get to the epicenter of employment, Charlottesville, faster. A gondola around Central Virginia would solve the transportation issue, the housing affordability issue, would be good for the environment because there were less cars on the road, would be good from a safety standpoint because cars often cause injuries, would help affordability, a gondola system in Central Virginia. Bill McKenzie thinks that's funny. I know a man can dream. It's a pipe dream, I know. A man can dream. What's the most absurd comment of the week?
Yeah, that's got to go to O'Connell.
Hold on. There's got to be a sound effect I can play for O'Connell. Before you give me the comment, tell me which sound effect is the best for Mitch McConnell for what he said. Is it this one?
That's a pretty good one.
Or is it this one?
I like that one better. I think if there was a... I'm not sure what that was.
I think this is the best one. Mitch McConnell's most absurd comment of the week. Tell it to us.
So...
Verbatim, please.
Well, if I'd need to find an actual quote, this is more of a short brief on what he's saying. And anyways, it goes like this. Mitch McConnell says the labor shortage will be solved when people run out of stimulus money because Americans are flush for the moment.
What an idiot.
The quote part is flush for the moment. But really, how could anybody be flush with money from the stimulus that was last given out, 18 months ago?
At least.
Yeah, who's still flush with their...
So this story is now...
Was the last one
Dude.
$1,400? The last stimulus check? I think I read that it was like $1,200... What was it? I don't know. Anyways.
This is everywhere. This is making its rounds. He's the U.S. Senate minority leader, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
He's a Republican. He further says, quote, "What we've got to hope is once they run out of money, they'll start concluding it's better to work than not to work," end quote. Mitch.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that compassionate take on...
How do we know that you're completely out of touch and not understanding of what Main Street Americans are going through? This right here.
Yeah.
He thinks the stimulus money is still fueling and keeping people above water 18 months later.
This
This is what's wrong with the country. You got
Leaders.
out of touch, old white men, not on the front lines, who are the U.S. Senate minority leaders.
Well, I don't think I don't even take race into it. I think what's wrong with this country is all of our leaders.
Moscow Mitch inserted his foot in his mouth. Scott Aaronworth. Moscow Mitch is what he calls him. Scotty Aaronworth, the Esquire from Virginia Beach, who happens to be the biggest foodie in Charlottesville, is the king of Virginia Beach. Scotty Aaronworth, the man we love. Kevin Higgins says he's a total idiot. Mitch McConnell.
I think that.
Why would you say that?
I think that holds true for most of our politicians. But yes,
That is a moronic comment.
particularly true with Mitch McConnell, and he definitely shows it with a comment like this.
Yeah, definitely shows with a comment like this. Any other tidbits of the Judah Wickhauer notebook you want to get out there? You did a good job today, per usual.
Yeah, I got some. Let's see.
A couple more news and notes, we'll call it. Some quick hitters, if you may.
Oh yeah, we never got to advice for people moving here.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Here are some funny ones.
This is a good topic.
This one is obvious to anyone that's been here. If you're driving a rental truck, avoid the 14th Street Bridge. Let's see. Don't disrespect Bodos.
One sentence. What advice would you give to someone moving to Charlottesville?
Everything closes at 9.
There's no more late night options because Waffle House closed forever due to a labor shortage on 5th Street Extended.
There's still one more.
Waffle House, where's the other one?
The other one is across from Applebee's on 29 North.
That Applebee's is closed.
Well,
There's
but the Waffle House isn't.
Do we know for certain?
I mean, I've eaten there in the last month
Here,
or two.
this is what I'm going to do. Let's confirm this. Waffle House, Charlottesville. Do you have your phone?
Yep.
Bust out your phone. I'm going to give you the Waffle House 5th Street phone number. Okay? Waffle House 5th Street phone number. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay.
Let's do it live on air. You give them a ring. Tell me when you're ready.
All right.
434-296-5010. Put it on speakerphone. 434-296-5010.
All right.
Let's
Here we
get to
go.
the bottom of this. You're calling Waffle House 5th Street Extended?
Yep.
Put it on speakerphone, please. Okay, it's ringing. It's ringing. It's still ringing. It's still ringing. I wouldn't say this is a good sign. That they're not picking up at 1:10 p.m. on a Wednesday.
It's lunchtime.
What do you mean? They have to answer the phone. Let's see if there's a voicemail.
You
We've
sure?
heard scuttlebutt on the streets of Charlottesville
You sure you got the right phone number?
that the Waffle House...
Call your local Waffle House. We are currently taking care of customers and are unable to answer the phone. Please come in and dine with us in person, and we will be happy to serve you.
We've heard the Waffle House on 5th Street is closed due to labor. They can't staff the restaurant, so they chose to close it down. They didn't pick up the phone at 1:10 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon.
It's lunch, baby.
What?
Waffle House is
That's the slowest...
hopping over there.
I would say that's the slowest shift at Waffle House is lunch.
Okay.
Well, maybe a proper dinner. The proper dinner shift is the slowest shift.
All right.
It's certainly not breakfast.
Here's a good one though.
What advice would you give?
Advice for.
In one sentence, moving to
It's
Charlottesville.
not all advice, but here's a funny one. Welcome to the land of streets with 3 to 5 names each.
Kevin Higgins, I love you, Kevin Higgins. Kevin Higgins, you're a valuable viewer and listener. We appreciate your kind words and support, KH. Serious, and sincerely mean that, man. He says, this is the best moment in I Love Seville show history, calling Waffle House live on air.
And them not answering.
They didn't answer.
Nobody actually knows why Rio is pronounced Rio, and it has nothing to do with Route 10.
That's the advice you would give to someone moving to
That's
Charlottesville?
another one.
What's the advice I would give to someone moving to Charlottesville? Wow.
Charlottesville struggles to find identity outside of UVA, but it's still pretty nice.
I think Charlottesville has an identity outside UVA.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't you? I've been here how long have you been in the area? I've been here 22 years. How about you?
My family first came here 95, 96. I officially moved in without going back and forth to Savannah in 2002.
So 20 years for you. 20 years for you, 22 for me. I would say the identity of Charlottesville and those 22 years of me living here, that identity has distanced itself from University of Virginia more than ever in my 22 years here. When I first arrived here as a first year at the University of Virginia, Dabney 101, old dorms, the identity of the town was the university. And I'm not saying that the identity of the town is still not the university, but in the 22 years of me living here, the beer scene has exploded. The wine scene has exploded. The wedding scene has exploded. The restaurant scene has exploded. The technology scene has exploded. And these various explosions have helped Charlottesville create its own image and brand and identity that's not just the University of Virginia. You give me that?
Sure.
I mean, it's for a little town, it's got a lot of flex to it. For a little town, it's got like some big time energy to it. You did a good job today. I hope you have the best birthday ever. I sincerely mean that. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for all your hard work here, and thank you for being a family. Sincerely mean that. His name is Judah Wickhauer. My name is Jerry Miller, and this is the Wednesday edition of the I Love Seville show.
Hold on, one more.
You got one more.
Yeah. Where progressives have coexist bumper stickers on their Subarus, but don't want rednecks as their neighbors. But come on, seriously, who does want rednecks as their
My
neighbors?
favorite bumper sticker for the area, let's see, hold on. Scottsville, there's a Scottsville VA bumper sticker. That's hilarious. I'm looking it up too. Google image. The Scottsville VA bumper sticker is something Scottsville, Paris, and...
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen those before.
What's it say? Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it. It's something, Scottsville is mentioned in like the same sentence as all these iconic places. I see that bumper sticker driving around from time to time. Does anyone know it? Can you find it online?
I've seen those for various other cities as well.
I'll see if I can find it online. Maybe mention it on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow is Thursday, so today y mañana is at 10:15 a.m. Alex Erpy and Xavier Yerpy. Tomorrow, Thursday, is also the I Love Seville show at 12:30. We work hard for you, and how we work hard is trying to create compelling content every day on this show that's in some ways pertaining to Charlottesville or Central Virginia. And I'll be very straightforward. It's hard work. Finding content every day for a show like this and long-form content without commercial interruption. It's hard work. It's hard work, but we enjoy doing it, and we enjoy connecting with you guys through this platform. It's the Wednesday edition for Judah. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us. Take care and join us at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow for Today y Mañana. Hasta luego.